The crucifixion of Jesus Christ is the central event of the Christian faith, portrayed as the fulfillment of centuries of prophecy. To understand it fully, one must look at the scarlet thread that runs from the Old Testament shadows to the New Testament reality. 1. The Old Testament, prophecies in shadows. Long before the Roman Empire invented crucifixion, the Old Testament writers described the suffering of the Messiah in startling detail. The Passover lamb, Exodus 12:46. The requirements for the Passover lamb, that it be without blemish, and that not one of its bones shall be broken, served as a type or shadow of Jesus. This is fulfilled in John 19:36. The Messianic Sufferer, Psalm 22. Written by David around 1000 BC, this psalm describes a form of execution that did not exist in Israel at the time. The cry of dereliction. My God, why have you forsaken me? Psalm 22:1, fulfilled in Matthew 27:46. The piercing. They pierced my hands and my feet. Psalm 22:16. The clothing. They divide my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots. Psalm 22:18, fulfilled in John 19:24. The suffering servant, Isaiah 53. Written roughly 700 years before Christ, this chapter explains the purpose of the crucifixion, substitution. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. Isaiah 53:5. Silence before accusers. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. Isaiah 53:7, fulfilled in Matthew 27:12-14. Burial. And they made his grave with the wicked, but with the rich at his death. Isaiah 53:9, fulfilled by Joseph of Arimathea in Matthew 27:57-60. 2. The New Testament, the fulfillment. The New Testament records the historical reality of the crucifixion across the four Gospels, focusing on the legal trials, the physical suffering, and the spiritual significance. The 7 sayings from the cross. These statements summarize the mission of Jesus during his final hours. Forgiveness. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. Luke 23:34. Salvation. Assuredly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. Luke 23:43. Relationship. Woman, behold your son. John 19:26-27. Abandonment. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Matthew 27:46. Physical distress. I thirst. John 19:28. Triumph. It is finished. John 19:30. Reunion. Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. Luke 23:46. Significant supernatural events. The New Testament records 3 major signs that occurred during the crucifixion. Darkness. From noon until 3 p.m., darkness covered the land. Matthew 27:45. The torn veil. The curtain in the temple was torn from top to bottom, signifying that the way to God was now open to all. Mark 15:38. The resurrection of saints. An earthquake occurred, and tombs were opened. Matthew 27:51-52. 3. Theological significance. In the New Testament epistles, the crucifixion is explained not just as a tragedy, but as a legal and spiritual victory. The curse. Galatians 3:13 states, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, having become a curse for us. For it is written, Cursed is everyone who hangs on a tree. Reconciliation. Colossians 1:20 explains that God made peace through the blood of his cross. Victory. Colossians 2:15 describes the cross as the place where Jesus disarmed principalities and powers, making a public spectacle of them.